Hi there, it's Grace from Truly Vintage, and I've got these little folders that I made which I'm going to share my process with you. They're two different styles, pretty simple sort of stuff. This little one, it's got a little ribbon to put around, and as you can see it's got two little pockets in there for your tabs. Whoops. And my other one, which is very similar, still got the tabs, but this one I decided to actually add a signature in to make it a little booklet, and it's got the tabs in there. So I'm just going to take you through and show you how I put these together. Starting off, I used one of my masterboards which I make on the back of 12 by 12 scrapbooking paper. You could use cardstock, whatever it is that you've got, even magazine pages, anything like that. And I just use all the little bits and pieces that I have left over, which we tend to get so many of them, and glue them on. And this is my masterboard. So I cut a little piece here. Now I think it's 7 inches if I remember rightly. Yep, 7 by about 5.5 to make my little folder. Obviously size is flexible, up to you. And I'm going to have this little one here at the front. I love that it's a 1948 magazine there, and some shorthand bits and pieces. I love putting in all the eclectic sort of papers. Now you could leave the center as is if it's a pattern there that you like. Personally, I like to what I call truly vintage-ize mine and actually cover it. So I've got some old dictionary paper that I tend to use. Now if you want, you can basically just glue that on, cut it and have it that way. What I'm going to do is I've got 2 pieces of offcuts, and I'm just going to glue those onto here. Now before I glue it, I'll just quickly run around. I'll just check the size on this one. Now I've cut it so that it's a little bit narrower. It doesn't quite go to the spine, and the reason I do that is then when I put the folded piece in the middle, it actually sits in neatly. So I'll show you that when we get to that stage. So would help if I took the cover off. I'll just run some ink around the edge of my page. Hope everyone's feeling well today. I work at a school, so we've just started school holidays, but unfortunately I work in the office, so I don't actually get the school holidays. That was one of the perks I gave up when I left teaching. So still work to be done. So yeah, but it's going to be pretty quiet there for the next couple of weeks. Right, just rub that in. A little bit more down the bottom. And I just use my glue stick. And pop that onto here. Now when I put my central page on there, as you can see with this one, it's my top left corner that's going to be visible. So if you've got a particular illustration or diagram, I like to sort of have little pictures there. I tend to make sure that they're going to be in the position that it will be seen. So with this one I've got my little flowers, and I'll just move that up a bit. Whoop, whoop, but not that much. I like the glue stick because it's forgiving and I can move things around. So that's on that side. Over here I've got a piece of paper. Now I tend not to measure too many things. I suppose, yeah, my creations aren't made extra perfectly. And I tend to just look at it and go, okay, I need to trim a bit off the edge. Oh, it needs to go to about there, so pop that in here. Oops, cut that. Okay, need to take off a bit on the edge. Okay. And I always find take off less than you think you need, because you can always come back and give it a bit of a trim. So that can go in there. And just pop some ink around the edge. So yeah, so we've got Easter coming up in a couple of weeks. This will be my first Easter as a parent without having any of my children at home. So my youngest two boys moved out recently, hence I've got this lovely craft room to myself now. And yeah, so no Easter bunny visiting for us. My partner and I don't really celebrate Easter because he's allergic to chocolate, so that's not very good. Although it does mean that if anyone gives him chocolate, well then, I mean, I do the right thing by him and I eat it for him, which is fine with me. Okay, we pop that one in there. Now you can see, as I said, there's a bit of a gap in the middle. Totally up to you if you want to leave that there, but it does certainly make it fold quite easy. And I'll just put it there. Sorry, just moving that up a bit. Yep, I've gone a little bit over. Just looking for my scissors. And we'll just trim the paper off the end there. I've put some washi tape down the middle here because some of my paper, since it is vintage and so old, that when I fold it, it does actually break. So hence I've just popped the washi tape down there, and that's what I did on this one as well. Had the washi tape down the center. So that's the outside. Pretty simple. Just whack a little bit more there. Now the pockets in the middle, once again, very simple. You can do this a number of ways. You can take one sheet of paper, trim it to the size that you want, and once again I just basically cut it like that. I'll just and whack that one in, and that goes there. Now you'll notice with, let me see which one, sorry, with this one here, the central part is one page and it's just folded, and I'll go on to that in a moment. But with this one, I've actually, the paper was so delicate that when I went to fold it down the center, it actually ripped. So this one, it's actually two separate pieces. So once you've got your piece of this paper for the center, it's as simple as finding the middle, and folding these down. Now I fold to a little bit shy of the center so that it actually will open and close neatly. That one there. And basically that's how our pocket comes to be. Now I like to sew around mine, so here's one that I did earlier for two reasons. One, I haven't learned how to actually edit my videos yet, so while I was over at the sewing machine, you'd be sitting here watching nothing happening, which is a bit boring. And also I have a dog in the room who goes totally ballistic when I use the sewing machine, so you would have also had to have put up with his barking. So this one, now what I've done here, as you can see, before I sewed it, so if we go back to this stage, I sit that in there, sit it in the middle, oops, and fold it over. And obviously, since it pops out from that spine a bit, you're going to end up with a bit of leftover here. So I open that up and I just trim that back. So with this one, you can see I've actually trimmed it in quite a bit, and you can see the background. Okay, whereas with this one, it actually went right up to the edge. Basically up to you, whichever you prefer. So pop that in there. I would then use double-sided tape. Looking, it is definitely here somewhere. Here we go. Double-sided tape down the center, along here, and up there. And same here, down here, and across there. Before I do that, I would certainly ink around the edges and pop that in there, and then basically we've got our little folder, and it's just left up for decorating. So I'll show you what I did with this one, which was my first one. Now this one, to actually keep it in, I've also sewn down the center, which is easily done if you wish to do that. And I've collaged in here. I've collaged on the front, and I've just left the back because I quite like my masterboards with showing. I've used an eyelet on the front and the back, and I just pop the ribbon through the eyelets. Whoop. Okay, and wrap that around and tie it to keep it closed. Okay, these are some little tags that I've made to pop in here. Here, once again, collage. I had an operation recently and needed to stay off my feet for a couple of weeks, so fussy cutting kept me sane. So all of these flowers and things, I really got into fussy cutting. So I have so many little collage pieces that I can use, and just pop those in there. All I did for the tab was just some homemade washi tape, and I've just stapled that onto there. So that's that little one. This one here, I did it a little bit differently. See this little doily here? Just wait until the end of the video and I'll tell you a little bit of a secret about that one. But otherwise, once again, my fussy cutting. This was a book of vintage advertising that I used. And with this one, as I said, I did stick each one on individually, each of the pockets individually. And I've got my tabs. What I did with the signature here, very, very simple. I basically grabbed some pages from a book, for example, could be this one, and I just popped it into the center. So if I was doing it on my new one, let's say that was glued in there, I pop it in here, open that up, and I sewed. And basically I would have just pop them in there and cut here and here. Now some people might say, oh, but you've got all this wasted paper. As anybody who knows me knows, nothing goes to waste. So these strips, which are the bits that were cut off of these pages here, were what I used for the background on that one, and what I'll use on some masterboards in the future. So it's really easy to do. Another alternative, obviously, with the little booklet is you could just put together some little coffee dyed paper in there, just measure it to fit, and I just sewed it up the center. And no, so I said sew up as I point down, but you know what I mean. And then it was just a matter of decorating. So just want to show you this little mini doily, which I think looks absolutely beautiful. I bought a packet of them. It was probably last year sometime. Just looking. I thought that they were lovely, and I've got the packet here, and I've only got half one left. They were actually full circles like that, as you can imagine, and they're cut in half. Now, if you want to access these yourself, I'll let you in on, that goes that way, a bit of a secret. If you head to Spotlight, you can buy this plastic runner tablecloth by the meter. So I actually use this. I was taught by Sue at Paper Inspirations to lay over my paper when I am coffee dyeing it, and then it gives it this lovely image on there. But these circles are just, whoops, there was one that I cut out. Here we go. Sorry. So these little circles are exactly what we use for the miniature doily. So this one is just a matter of cutting around. Okay, you can see I've cut that one out of there. And there you have a lovely little miniature doily that you could use if you can find. Here it is. And doesn't it look lovely on there? You can cut them in half like I did that. So yeah, I was trying to find the price on the Spotlight website and I couldn't find it, but put it this way, if I bought it, it's got to be cheap, because that's just me. I tend to get things at a bit of a bargain. And so yeah, just buy half a meter, whatever you need from that, and just cut out your little circles, and you too can have these little miniature doilies, which look absolutely lovely. And I was thinking you could even sort of thread some ribbon through those, but they look great. So hope you enjoyed my little video on how to make these tag pockets. I've enjoyed sharing it with you, and I've got a couple of other ideas that I want to put down on video in the near future, with some other ways that I like to use my stash. So I'll be sharing them with you guys in the near future. In the meantime, if you're interested in any of the packs that I sell, head over to my shop, Truly Vintage, on Facebook, and I sell packs of vintage pages, which I've got a wide selection. I'll have to take you guys on a tour of my craft room. I've got bookshelves, plural, of vintage books, so I love sharing them with you. Okay, thank you, and see you next time. Bye.